Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 15 of NFL predictions. So far, we are 58 and 44 after going 9 and 6 last week. I was so close to picking Tennessee last week. I was like, should I? Should I not? I should have. I was so close, but I didn't. So it counts as a loss against me. And let's get right into the picks. There are no bye weeks. Keep in mind, there are no more bye weeks throughout the rest of the season. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so for Thursday night football, we have Chargers taking on the Raiders. Ooh, this is not going to be a fun game. Raiders losing 0-3, and the Chargers getting decimated by the Broncos 24-7. And if you remember their last game, they won 6-0. So, yeah, this one's going to be a point scoring game. Okay, no, this is going to suck, especially since Justin Herbert's out. So, Easton Stick's in. And I'm going to take the Raiders here. I don't know. It's whoever scores the first field goal, really. Let's move on. All right, so for this week, we have Saturday football. So, we have 3 games here. We're starting off with the Vikings taking on the Bengals. Vikings last week, they were involved in the Vikings-Raiders game where they won 3-0. So I have absolutely no confidence. I don't know who their starter is, but I'm going to pick the Bengals. Jake Browning has been pretty good, and I can see him getting a little bit of a streak here, honestly. All right, so for the next game, we have the Steelers taking on the Colts. Steelers losing in embarrassing fashion against the Patriots, allowing Bailey Zappi to score 3 touchdowns. It was just nuts. That game was crazy, man. And then they take on the Colts, which got beat by the Bengals. I think this should be a good bounce back for the Colts, especially since the Steelers are going to have Mitch in, and I don't trust him. I don't think it's going to be pretty for the Steelers, and I think the Colts get another one here. All right, so for the next game, we have Saturday Night Football with the Broncos taking on the Lions. So for the Broncos, defeating the Chargers last week. Yeah, I got it. Took a second. They defeated the Chargers in a blowout win. And they take on the Lions, which lost to the Bears. The Lions, they don't seem like they're doing too great. And I think I'm going to take the Broncos here. And let's move on. All right, so for the next game starting on Sunday, we have the Bears taking on the Browns. I don't think this is okay. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. This isn't gonna be a good game. I see the Browns winning this. I don't think it's gonna be a high scoring affair, but the Browns are gonna win. All right. So for the next game, we have the Falcons taking on the Panthers. Panthers. I don't know if there's any team they can beat. I don't know if they can beat another team. I mean, the Falcons aren't great, but they're better than the Panthers. So I think I'm gonna take the Falcons here, even though they lost last week. All right, so the next game we have the Buccaneers taking on the Packers. Packers losing in a close game against Tommy DeVito. And I was right. All right, we'll get into that later. And they take on the Bucks, who beat the Falcons just barely. Close game. Couldn't miss those 2 field goals. They probably would have won. But for this game, I see it being a good bounce back game for Jordan Love and the Packers. I think it's going to be perfect. Bucks aren't a great team, so I think they can take advantage of that. All right, and so for the next game, we have the Texans taking on the Titans. My bad. Texans taking on the Titans. And for the Texans, I believe they're starting Davis Mills. I might be wrong. It's kind of early in the week, so I don't really know yet. But I'm going to let that assumption, so keep that in mind. And they take on the Titans, which they looked pretty good last week. And Will Levis, let me just say, that guy is insane. That dude is absolutely insane, has no care for his body whatsoever. I just got to give it to the Titans. Especially with CJ Stroud out, I'm just taking the Titans. And so for the next game, we have the Jets taking on the Dolphins. So for the Dolphins, losing, they had that 13-point lead and they lost it. Maybe it was 14, I don't remember. But they had that 14-point lead and they just blew it. Completely blew it. And they take on the Jets, who decimated the Texans. They needed that game desperately just to prove that their offense can actually score some points. And for the Dolphins, this game, I am actually going to take the Jets. It's a very long shot. It's a long shot. But hear me out. Tyreek's still not feeling great. I don't know if that's really going to affect him this game. But I don't know. I just see it. I'm just feeling it. I might change my mind. But let's just move on. Alright, so for the next game we have the Giants taking on the Saints. So, for the Giants, I was right. Tommy DeVito did win. And they take on the Saints, which played the Panthers, and everyone beats the Panthers. So, yeah, we get that. Not very impressive. Alright, and I am going to ride on this Tommy DeVito train until it inevitably falls apart in its face. So I'm taking the Giants here. Alright, so the next game we have the Chiefs taking on the Patriots. Chiefs losing in the game against the Bills. Their receivers suck, except Travis Kelce and Rice. Tony lined up offsides, and it caused them to lose the game. And Patrick Mahomes is a whiny baby, and that was obvious. It was an obvious foul. I don't want to talk about it. And they take on the Patriots, who beat the Steelers. As much as I'd love to see the Chiefs lose again, I don't see it. I'm taking the Chiefs here easily. All right, and so for the next game, we have the Commanders taking on the Rams. Commanders on bye last week, and the Rams losing in a close game to the Ravens. This should be a good bounce-back game for them to be a weak Commanders team right now. And, yeah, take the Rams here. All right, so for the next game, we have the Niners taking on the Cardinals. Last time I matched up, it wasn't actually, it was kind of actually close, but completely different two completely different teams now. And yeah, if there's going to be a team that stopped 49ers rampage, it's not going to be the Cardinals. And if it is, well, I don't know. I'll do something. Maybe I'll pick them for the rest of this. You know what? Yeah. If the Cardinals beat the 49ers, no matter what their matchup is, I will pick them for the rest of the season. I do not care if they beat the Niners. But I'm going to take Niners here, obviously. All right, so for the next game, we have the Cowboys taking on the Bills. So this game, I think this game's going to be pretty good. This might be a pretty good game. I see it being a close game, but I am going to have to take the Cowboys here to win the game. I kind of hope they lose because, they're going to be so insufferable if they keep winning. Oh, I'm trying to kind of cheering for the Bills here. All right, so for Sunday Night Football, we have the Ravens taking on the Jaguars. This also could be a pretty good game. Trevor Lawrence not looking great last week. Hopefully he can get back up to level this week as they take on the Ravens, who won on that punt return touchdown by Tylan Wallace. That's not a name I expected to say this week. All right, and yeah, I'm just going to take the Ravens. I'm not going to take any risks on Jacksonville. Already taken so many risks. Don't need to take another. Let's just move on. All right, so for Monday Night Football, the last game on this list is Eagles taking on the Seahawks. So if the Eagles losing in embarrassing fashion to the Cowboys, yeah, no, not looking too pretty for them. And they take on the Seahawks, which lost to the 49ers, which in the beginning of that game, it looked like they might be able to keep up with the Niners. They eventually lost control, but they, at the start, looked like they were going to keep with the Niners. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is closer than people think. But I am going to take the Eagles here. All right. And that'll do it for my Week 15 NFL predictions. If you thought my picks were good, tell me in the comments. If you thought they were bad, tell me in the comments. If you thought they were all right, tell me in the comments. Do you have any more video ideas? tell me in the comments.